So today I'm joined with the lovely Sissi Freeman, who's the sales and marketing director of Granado, and we're going to explore all things fragrances. She's going to tell us a little bit about herself. Hi, Sissi. How are
Hi,
you?
great, thank
How you
you.
been today?
Good, thank you.
Good. Well, I just wanted to find out all things fragrance. Of course, you are the queen of fragrance. So tell me a little bit, like how did your fragrance journey begin?
Well, I've always loved cosmetics, and I think once you get ticked by the kind of fragrance bug, you just want to learn more.
Yeah,
So we started this journey of fragrance. Well, product development really has always been my favorite part of everything I do.
yeah,
And I think fragrance really is where it all starts. I think
yeah,
once you have something good, it's the best starting point.
yeah.
And we launched our first fragrance when we entered Le Bon Marché about, I'd say about 8 years ago.
Wow,
And then in 2020, when we were celebrating 150 years of Granado, we
that's
decided
insane.
we decided to launch perfumes
Yeah.
to and then after that it's just been a wild journey, and you keep discovering all these new fragrance notes
Yeah,
and trying to have something that really fits with the brand DNA. And so
yeah, of course.
yeah.
Do you remember sort of the first fragrance that you fell in love with or the scent that you fell in love with?
Well, personally, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, I think I think the first fragrance when I smell it, it always reminds me of when I was young, as I guess like a classic CK1 or
Yeah.
like a Carolina Herrera
Yeah.
212, the one with the little.
Yeah.
So I've always loved fresh, and
Yeah.
I think fresh is one of the signatures of Granada because Brazil is so hot.
Yeah.
Um, but I think lavender in general as well. In Brazil, we use a lot of lavender and
Right. Okay.
babies, and they have these myths that it makes bad kind of
Like just like energy go
yeah.
away.
Or at school they say that if you put in your children's hair lavender, they won't
Really?
get lice.
Really? Is that
Brazil
true?
has superstitions like that.
To be fair, we all have superstitions.
Exactly.
Okay, so just like in terms of like obviously
Mhm.
you fall in love with these type of fragrances. What's your go-to day fragrance?
I love nostalgia.
Mm.
Nostalgia is a very kind of second skin fragrance. It has a lot of iris.
Do we have it here?
We have it here if you want to smell
I
it.
would love to smell it.
So nostalgia has that
Oh,
smell that's kind of like you feel like the person, it's their natural
yes.
smell. And it's a great fragrance for layering also. Sometimes at work, well,
Yeah.
all the time at work, I have to try things.
Yeah.
So it's usually a fragrance that if I wear on a day-to-day basis, I can
Mm,
kind of layer it up with other things that I'm working with.
that is
So yeah,
lovely. And that does really feel nostalgic. It
it
just feels
does.
like it's very simple. Like it's so easy
It's
to,
it's an easy, great fragrance,
yeah.
and it has a little bit of freshness to it, but
Yeah.
it has also kind of a signature and a personality. So
Yeah. Well, you see, I'm the type of person that I like a fragrance for everything that I'm doing.
yeah.
So,
Uh
like,
huh.
if I'm going to the gym, I want like my gym
Uh
fragrance.
huh.
Do you have that as well? Like, okay, what's your like, okay, I don't want to be too overwhelming, but I want people to know that I'm here. I've arrived.
I would say a Splendor. We launched a Splendor um, last year around June, July,
Yeah.
and it's our first vanilla gourmand. But it has sea salt notes to it.
Oh, wow.
Has some amber to it. And so I find it a very
Oh,
sensual
that is beautiful.
fragrance. I love wearing it at night or on cooler
Wow.
days. Um,
I love that.
yeah, it's really because it has a very natural vanilla to it.
Yes.
Some woody notes on the bottom.
Yeah, Woody is my favorite. Like
Oh.
anything Woody, I'm like, give it to me. Give it to me. Okay, and
So
I
I'm sure I think we have something in
yeah, in
common
common
then.
for sure. Okay, and I need to know what is your date night perfume? Like
Date
Cece's
night.
feeling sexy.
Oh,
She's making an entrance. What are you going for?
what am I going for? We actually, well, there are two. It depends. For
Yeah.
example, here in the UK, when it's cold, I would definitely go with Bohemia. Bohemia here has been our bestseller ever since we launched here in the UK at
Oh,
Liberty
lovely.
about 2 years ago.
Oh,
It is
that is
very
definitely making an
woody.
entrance.
It definitely makes an
Yeah.
entrance. But if I'm in Brazil, I sometimes find it a bit too strong if it's too hot.
Right. Okay.
Then I would go with Fervo. and the word fervor actually means boiling and intense.
Okay.
And so it's
Oh.
the name already says something. But fervo intenso is interesting because we also always try and work with Brazilian ingredients.
Yeah,
And so fervo has cacao,
I
and
love
it also
this.
has cachaça. So this one also, it's very different.
Yeah.
I think fervo is much sweeter.
Yes.
But I think in the warm weather, I would go with in the summer I would go with Favo, and in the winter with Bohemian.
Yeah, no, this is stunning because I love to layer my fragrances
Uh
with like sweets and then woodies. So I feel like this is like a perfect encapsulation of everything. I love this. Okay, I'm gonna have to take this one, Cece. Oh, this is so good. Okay, and what's your favorite layering combination? Like, is there rules when it comes to layering? So should you not layer this scent with this scent, or is
I
it
always
just
find it easier to look at the pyramid, or the
okay?
olfactive pyramid, and if there's an ingredient there that you love,
Yeah,
then I think that's always an easy starting point.
yeah,
So because I love nostalgia so much,
yeah,
it has a lot of musk. I usually go with like a nostalgia and our cologne fig.
yeah.
I think it makes it kind of a bit greener,
Mm,
crispier. Also, we have a tonka,
mm.
which I love to layer
Yeah,
with nostalgia as well.
yeah,
I think it
Tonka's
makes it
good.
creamier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's lovely. Well, I actually want to get into something very exciting because
Okay.
you've launched a very exciting fragrance,
Yes,
right?
we have. We're launching this new fragrance here in April,
Yeah,
end of April, beginning of March. It's called Citrus Brazilis. It's the first citrus of the collection.
yeah,
And Brazil is known for its oranges, for its freshness. And Granado, because we used to be an apothecary, we
yeah,
used to have an orange flower in our archives.
yeah,
And so, inspired by this, we worked with the amazing Canton Biche,
yeah.
and he has a childhood memory of having an orange tree in his mother's
Oh,
garden. And so, together, we came up with this creation, and let's smell it.
well, yes, let's please. I've recently fallen in love with citrus scents, so I'm just so excited about this fragrance.
And what's amazing about it, it has a lasting, because it's not
Yeah,
just the orange, it has like an overdose of orange,
yeah,
mandarin, but then it also has some patchouli, some mint that give it kind of a green crispiness to
yeah,
it, and a light jasmine that it makes it last hours and hours,
yeah,
which for citrus is just something that's not very common.
yeah.
I love this fragrance. I've actually been wearing it now in the summer heat in Brazil,
Yeah,
and I'm loving
it's
it.
the best.
It
No,
is.
it's not too overwhelming as well because sometimes, like my issues with citrus fragrances in the past, that sometimes it's just like
And
overwhelming,
sometimes it just burns the
burns your
nose
nose a
and
little
feels a
bit.
bit like a cleaning product.
Exactly, but
And
this is very light. It's very
yes,
easy.
exactly. And one thing we're very excited with it also is we have a new cap for our perfumes,
Yes,
and
this is
citrus is the
stunning.
first one. So we're going from the transparent caps
Yeah,
to the metallic
it's
one.
very luxurious. I
Yes,
love it.
we're in love
Yeah.
with it.
So can you layer citrus scents with sort of more woody scents as well?
Definitely, it works really well, like I said, because it has a little bit of patchouli.
Yeah,
It smells amazing with our patchouli.
yeah,
It makes it a bit even greenier, earthier.
yeah,
What else would I suggest? The cedar as well
yeah,
would make it also very nice.
yeah,
We have a lot of citrus in
yeah,
our portfolio.
yeah,
So the oud also could be interesting because
yeah.
we have a cologne oud, so it would make it a bit more sensual or have a little bit more personality.
Yeah, for sure. And for anyone, I'm one of those people that I blind buy fragrances. So
Hmm.
if someone tells me it's got these notes, I'm like, okay, do you know what? I'm gonna take the leap of
Hmm.
faith and I'm gonna buy it. So for people who haven't smelt it and are just so intrigued and they just want to blind buy it, how would you describe it in 3 words for them?
Joyful, genderless,
Yeah.
and happy. Well, joyful is happy.
Yeah. Basically.
It's
very,
a
very
very happy
joyful. Yeah,
fragrance.
exactly.
Um,
Perfect for summer. The summer feels. And
energizing. That maybe
exactly.
that's what I
Yeah,
meant.
yeah.
But it's funny because for me, when people ask, "Oh, I want to give a gift," and I don't know which fragrance,
Yeah.
I think citrus is something, especially this one, like you mentioned, that it's not very aggressive.
Yeah,
I think it's an easy fragrance,
for
especially for
sure.
summer.
Yeah, for sure. And when does this launch in the UK?
End of April, beginning of May.
Very exciting. And it's already available in Brazil.
In Brazil,
Mm.
yes. Usually we launch simultaneously,
Yeah.
but this time, because it's such a spring summer fragrance, we decided to wait a little bit and do a big
Yeah.
launch
No,
when the weather
definitely.
starts warming up a
Yeah.
bit.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Cece.
you.
I'm
It
so
was such a
excited for
pleasure.
everyone to smell this and fall in love with it because I've actually fallen in love with it completely. But thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Mwah, mwah, mwah.